Finally, one day, the master told him, "Something seems to be troubling you. Why don't you come out with it?" The king said, "Yes, I can't understand the difference between you and me when I see you enjoying all these things like I do." The master smiled and said, "All right, let us go for a walk." The king agreed and they went for a walk. They walked in silence for a long time. They came to a river that marked the end of the king's boundary. The master said, "All right, my stay is over. I am going, leaving your kingdom. Are you coming?" The king said, "How can I? I have my kingdom and my people and so many things to solve." The master smiled and said, "Now have you got an answer to your question?" The king was simply jolted at the master's words. Masters know that everything belongs to existence. That is why they live totally in the moment, enjoying it to the utmost. Every moment is lived with totality. They are not fearful of losing anything, because what is yours to lose? Never forget, everything belongs to existence. You are only a temporary possessor of it, that's all. Feel gratitude always, whether or not you are in possession of many things. That is the way to a liberating life. You can enjoy tremendous freedom when you understand this one thing. Another beautiful small story. God and all the scientists of the world had a meeting and a competition. Whatever item that God made, the scientists reproduced it identically out of some material. The scientists were able to reproduce things with no problem at all. Finally, God made man out of dust and challenged the scientists. The scientists started to pick up the dust. God said, "Wait, make it out of your dust, not mine." Man has to understand that existence is the creator, the created, and the creation. Only then can he simply start enjoying things without a care. Only then can he relinquish possession and doership. So understand, when you change your attitude from seeking discontentment, worries, and depression to seeking the present with gratitude, you'll automatically be able to harness the energy of existence better. You'll then be able to appreciate existence better, and gratitude will then become your attitude. A small story. A man went to the market to buy vegetables for his wife. He bought lady's finger, came home and showed it to his wife. The wife saw the lady's finger and said, "Oh, these are so overgrown, I will not be able to cook them." The man went the next day and bought some more lady's fingers, choosing carefully this time, and came home and showed them to his wife. The wife said, "What have you bought? They are too tender to make the dish I had in mind." The next day, the man went to the market, prayed to the shopkeeper and said, "Give me some good lady's fingers that are neither too ripe nor too tender." The shopkeeper picked the best lady's fingers himself, and the man took them home and showed them to his wife. The wife saw them and said, "What? You've bought lady's finger today also?" Appreciation never comes spontaneously for many of us. When we cannot appreciate spontaneously, it means that we are having a complaining or discontented nature in us. Actually, discontentment is food for our mind. To be discontented is like giving some food for the mind to chew. The mind will feed on it and keep itself busy. What happens when we feel too contented? The mind becomes starved. It doesn't know what to do. It starts searching for its food. A lady went to a shoe store. She asked for shoes to fit her feet, and the salesman patiently showed her many pairs of shoes. She tried on one after another, and she felt that none of them fitted her perfectly. Finally, the salesman showed her one pair and asked her to try them on. She tried them on and said, "It fits too well. I wonder if this is the right size." When you are determined not to feel contented, then no one can help you. It is a state of your mind which only you can help. Most of us feel a certain comfort zone in talking and feeling discontented because there is always something to talk about. The mind is occupied all the time. To feel contented always is like losing the mind. This is also why, although we claim that we want to feel contented always, we are not ready when it happens. Our mind plays cunningly because it needs something to chew on. We feel secure when we run behind the horizon. The horizon is only an imaginary line, but we feel secure running behind it because there is something to run behind. The mind has been trained to run always. When you are like this, you are actually fooling yourself, that's all. You are creating self-contradictory results for yourself. For example, you want to feel contented at the bottom of your heart, but you keep deluding yourself of contentment by constantly complaining and refusing to see what has been given to you. You want something, but bring upon something else on yourself. And you feel comfortable in trying to achieve contentment as a lifelong process. Understand one thing. The moment you create self-contradictory results for yourself, your misery starts. Try to be clear on how you would like your life to be and direct every ounce of energy towards making it that way. When you function with this clarity, you will never delude yourself and you will see that you soon become what you want to be. When you enter into a space where gratitude becomes your meditation, contentment automatically happens. The normal contentment that we all know always comes with a reason. It is related to something that has happened in the outer world that has temporarily put your busy mind to rest, that's all. When your mind is restful, you say you are contented. Real contentment is not this. Real contentment is when you feel permanent gratitude towards the benevolence of existence. Real contentment asks for nothing more. It simply enjoys everything without a reason. It needs no reason. When you reach this state, you will not know what discontentment is all about. A small story. A man once went to a doctor and complained of insomnia. The doctor asked him, "So you are unable to sleep at all at night, is it?" The man replied, "I sleep well at night, doctor." The doctor then asked, "Then what is the problem?" The man said, "I am unable to sleep in the afternoons and evenings." We are all asking for more and more without any scale of measure. Even if we have a scale, it is infinite. That is the problem. We are completely blinded by our attitude of asking for more. We don't even know where we stand because of this. We haven't looked inwards at all in a long time. We are just deluded by our minds. We are living such an ignorant life. We create suffering for ourselves inside and then go in search of relief outside. You are able to laugh for this joke because you know you are only watching it. You know that you are not a part of it. In life, many times you are in the same situation and you don't know it. At those times, you are not the watcher. You are so involved in the whole thing that it becomes such a serious thing for you. It becomes such a solid reality to you. Try to remember this joke whenever something is bothering you. Immediately try to connect with the joke and see with awareness what is bothering you. Go deep down and see whether you are really having a problem or you are simply allowing your mind to play. You may just laugh at the end of it.